Hello champions, welcome to another interesting topic on social studies. Ensure that your notes and pen are with you to jot down important points, remove all forms of distraction, sit back and enjoy the lesson. In today's lesson, we are going to study the topic Crimes by Government Officials, Corruption Part 2, Lesson Objectives. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to 1. State the effects of corruption. 2. List the measures of checking corruption. And 3. State the government agencies that are responsible for checking corruption in Nigeria. And then 4. State their functions. Then let's look at effects of corruption. 1. Increase in crime rate. Corruption leads to increase in crime rate in Nigeria. Example, banditry, kidnapping, armed robbery, killings, terrorism, etc. and on the high side. 2. Bad image. It leads to loss of international reputation. That is, it projects bad image of the country at home and abroad. 3. Underdevelopment. It leads to low level or underdevelopment of the society. Example, bad roads, lack of social amenities, poor electricity, etc. 4. Corruption weakens a nation morally and socially. This means that it destroys the values of the nation. And then 5. Death of offenders. It leads to the arrest and even sudden death of offenders. 6. Conflicts and violence. Corruption leads to conflicts and violence. Example, EndSARS protests, village or community crisis, and so on. 7. Lack of trust. Corruption leads to lack of trust on part of the citizens in their leaders. Our leaders that we elected are not able to keep their promises or do what they are supposed to do due to greediness and selfishness. This makes us, the citizens, not to trust them anymore. Example, ASU strike is constantly increasing. Then let's look at measures of checking corruption in Nigeria. 1. Redefinition of our value system for better orientation of all. This means restoration or a change of attitude towards a number of things that we have identified as wrong actions. 2. Enforcement of laws. Laws should be made by arresting and prosecuting people, especially public officials, for ill-gotten wealth. 3. Reorganization of governments. Government agencies that are responsible for fighting or checking corruption should be reorganized for efficiency and effectiveness. And then 4. We have public enlightenment. There should be public enlightenment, awareness, and mass campaign about the consequences of corrupt practices on the society. Then 5. Accountability. Public officials should be made to be accountable to those they are representing. And then 6. Eradicating poverty. Government should provide employment opportunities so that people can be gainfully employed. Farmers and business owners should be assisted by government in order to reduce poverty. Then we are going to look at agencies of government charged with the responsibility of checking corruption in Nigeria. 1 is Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. This is a body vested by law with the responsibility to fight corruption and other related offenses in Nigeria. ICPC reconstitutes Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. It was inaugurated on September 29, 2000 by the Nigerian President, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. ICPC targets corruption in the public sector, especially bribery, gratification, abuse or misuse of office. The chairman of ICPC is Bolaji Olufimileye Owasanoye. Functions of ICPC. 1. To investigate cases of corruption or financial crimes, example, money laundering. 2. To arraign and prosecute corrupt individuals or offenders. 3. To convict corrupt individuals. 4. to identify and review corrupt systems and procedures of public bodies. 5. To educate and enlighten public about the evils of corruption. And then 6. To enlist and foster public support in combating corruption. Next is Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. This is a Nigerian law enforcement agency that investigates financial crimes such as advance fee fraud, which is 419, and money laundering. EFCC investigates people in all sectors who appear to be living above their means. EFCC was established in 2003. The head office is in Abuja. The executive chairman is Abdulrasheed Bawa. Functions of EFCC. 1. To investigate financial crimes, including advance fee fraud, 419, money laundering, counterfeiting, illegally charged fraud, computer credit fraud, contract scam, etc. 2. To adapt measures to identify, trace, freeze, confiscate, or seize proceeds derived from terrorist activities, economic and financial crimes, etc. 3. To arrest corrupt public officials. 4. To prosecute all offenses or offenders connected with economic and financial crimes. Then the third is Code of Conduct Bureau. This is an act to provide for the establishment of the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal to deal with complaints of corruption. The chairman is Professor Mohammed Issa. It was established in 1988 by General Ibrahim Babangida. The Code of Conduct and Tribunal deals with complaints of corruption by public servants for the breaches of its provisions. Finally, we have functions of Code of Conduct. 1. To receive declarations of asset by public officers, example, presidents, governors, etc. 2. To examine the declaration of assets by public officials in accordance to the requirements of the Code of Conduct Bureau. 3. To monitor how public officials acquire wealth. 4. To retain custody of such declaration and make them available for investigation by any citizen in Nigeria. 5. To ensure compliance with the Code of Conduct and enforce the provisions of the Code of Conduct where appropriate. 6. To receive complaint about non-compliance with the Code of Conduct. And 7. To investigate complaints and where appropriate refer such methods to the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Thanks for watching. See you in the next class. Goodbye.